All right, this next comedian, he was born in a Grateful Dead concert. He's so funny. Give it up for Big Bear Love.
This is a fact. I gotta move this. Hippies are a little clumsy. And she called me Big Bear, but I just lost 30 pounds of weed in the mail. How am I gonna pay rent? And I look young, but I actually come from a different time. I've had a beeper in my day. It wasn't even to sell weed yet. It was so my mom could tell me to come home. I knew they were tracking devices from the beginning. But I come from a different time. I saw Blockbuster get put out of business by Netflix. I saw one of my favorite, Toys R Us, get put out of business by Amazon. I saw heroin get put out of business by fentanyl. I come from a time where you could find a mystery bag of powders on the barroom floor and go home and have a good night. Nowadays, you have to know chemistry to take that cocaine home. I didn't come from free love like the hippies, but I at least came from mystery bag of powders is okay. But a hippie feels safe in Denver because you guys legalized pot. Kind of put me out of a job. Nobody tells you what happened to the weed man, the one that made it out. He delivers pizza now. DoorDash, and these people with the snowboard racks on the top of the car looking like cops, they're slowing down your food, I'm sorry. But you know, Colorado legalized pot. In the same year, they put all these traffic circles in. You guys have stoners just doing laps, lost. In Broomfield, I feel like you guys put your guys in as defense against the stoners. I've tried to come down here 3 or 4 times and ended up right back in Boulder. So, but now that you guys legalize pot, I'm not too worried about the government looking in on our lives. You know, whatever we talk about, they're going to sell us on Facebook now. You know, but if the government's looking in on our lives, I feel like the NSA should be giving us some stats, like Spotify Wrapped. Am I the worst driver in Denver, or is that just what my ex-girlfriends say? I feel like I'm in the top 1% of texting I'm on the way while still laying in bed. They have this information. Any parents in the crowd? Awesome. Well, hippies, we don't have a lot of kids because we are pretty childish ourselves. You guys keep track of the height on the wall, how good the kids are doing? We keep track of the length of our hair. As the last time we saw a judge. I'm doing pretty good. A few judges back in Michigan that would love to cut my locks. But my buddy, he's from Boulder County and he's got hippie parents. And growing up is confusing enough, but how do you go through the rebellious phase when you've got hippie parents? Get a job, go to school, hopefully not vote Republican. You know, it's kind of hard to run away from your dad's teepee. And he chases you down on horseback and says, "It's cool, bro, we can talk about it." But hippies actually did some good things for society. I found out they invented the word grounded. You know, take away the TV, take away the tablet, get grounded. Before that, we just beat our kids. I think I'm still grounded. My buddy, he's got hippie parents, mine are not. In his family, a spooning means laying with your lover. In my family, a spooning means getting hit with a wooden spoon when you try and taste the gravy too soon. I took my buddies to Burning Man, and I was going by Bear Love, which, believe it or not, is not my birth name. And they have hippie parents, so their birth name is Blu-ray and Solmar. And they were like, "What's our playa name? What's our Burning Man name?" And they realized they already came with Burning Man names, so the whole Burning Man, they went by Bob and Sam. You go by Bob, I'll go by Sam. It was perfect. And somebody came up to me who had a hippie dad after a show, and they were like, "We had hippie parents. We got to choose our own punishment." I didn't even know what that meant. They were like, "Yeah, we got caught toilet papering, so we chose not to see our best friend for a whole week." I got to choose the stick my grandma would whoop me with off of the tree. You know, don't go for the small ones. They cut through the air. But like I said, you guys put me out of work when you guys legalized pot. I was growing pot high up in the Colorado Rockies, double meaning. And the worst thing that can happen to you when the police when you're growing weed is the police to show up. But you guys legalized pot, so we found out the worst thing that can happen to you when you're growing weed in Colorado is you could run out of Kool-Aid. And Chiba Hut thinks it's a real drink for us stoners. They put it on tap like it's a real drink. And have you guys ever been so stoned you thought you invented something that you didn't really? That happened to me in Conifer. So my girlfriend shops at Costco, so we've got all kinds of sugar up in the cabinet. We're out of Kool-Aid. But all these hippies that were traveling through, they brought up a bunch of tea. And so my clock started turning, and I'm like, oh, I could take the sugar water and flavor it with the tea, which is better than all the artificial flavors in the Kool-Aid anyways. So for 3 days, nobody called me out. I'm like, hey, honey, you want another batch of sugar water tea? My friends didn't call me out. They probably thought there was pot in it looking at me, but it was just celestial seasons, sleepy time. But your family will keep you in check. My cousin's from the South, and he came up from Texas, and I was telling him, I was like, I want to open up a stand at Red Rocks and sell the different sugar water teas. Everybody's got a different flavor, and it's way better than Kool-Aid. He goes, Bear, this is really good, but I don't think you invented sweet tea. For 3 days, I thought I did. When you don't have cell phone service, hippies just make up whatever they don't, you can't Google them and prove them wrong. The earth is flat for 4 days while you're trimming weed. Come on, bro. But I'm a pretty psychedelic person. Anybody into psychedelics out here? Awesome. Anybody been to Burning Man? Okay, well, Burning Man is like Disneyland for people on psychedelics. All right, well, I was out there, and I was with my friend who's got hippie parents, and they saw us. It was our first Burning Man, and we were like, hey, we don't want to get used to this place. Let's take our acid tonight and then just go run out into the party. So my friend's dad, he's like Gandalf, and he goes, you guys are taking psychedelics? You guys know the rules of psychedelics? And there's no rules, it's illegal. Right? And so he goes, yeah, water's wet, fire's hot, and you can't fly. And if you're at Burning Man, don't forget your goggles. This is my first Burning Man, so I forgot my goggles, so I'm already messing with witchcraft. And